Hey, welcome back. It's me again, and we're moving on from tuples. It's nice and easy, hopefully. Now we're talking about sets, and I want to be clear that these are not, a pair that are commonly used together. They don't really have much to do with one another, other than the fact that they are collections of data, and they're lighter weight than a dictionary or than a list. Okay, so let's begin. What is a set in Python? Sets are like formal mathematical sets. So that might mean something to you, depending on how far you got in math, or, like me, how much you remember. There was a time I was working with sets and set notation, but I kind of don't remember most of it. But that's okay if you don't have that experience or you don't remember it. Sets are a collection of data that do not have duplicate values, okay? And there is no order. So think of it as just a group of items, a group of whatever, numbers or strings or whatever the data type is. It's just a group of them, and it's unique. Every item in there is unique, and there is no order. Another thing to know, you cannot access items in a set by the index because there is no order. So unlike a list or a tuple, you can't use an index. They're just floating around in their free form. So it's sort of, in a way, it's like a combination between a dictionary and a list because they're not key value pairs, so that's more like a list, but there's no order, which is more like a dictionary. So sets are useful, or they can be useful if you need to keep track of a collection of elements, but you don't care about ordering, keys, or values, and you don't care about duplicates, or you do care that there aren't duplicates. It's a better way of putting that. So let's just look at how you write one first. So we use the curly braces that we use for dictionaries. And here, let me show you. Here's the simplest example right here. S equals the set 1, 4, 5. So we use curly braces and put in whatever numbers we want. We don't use the colon syntax to assign key and values like we would with a dictionary. And that's how Python knows it's just a set. We can also use the set function that Python gives us, just like there's dict that we could use, or list, and so on. We pass in whatever we want to be in the set. And notice that if we pass in a set with duplicates, here there are 3 5s, what we actually get back only contains 1 5. So remember, there's no order. There's an order, that we write them in here, but as far as Python is concerned, there isn't a rigid order. And so we can't access things using an index. So if we tried to do, well, first let me just show you. If we add in, another 4 and another 5, and I hit enter, and then look at S, it just contains 1, 4, and 5, so they have to be unique. But then also, if I tried to do something like S of 0, I get an error. Set object does not support indexing, so that's not a thing. But what we can do is test if a given element is in a set. So I could say, is 4 in S, which is true. Is the letter H in S? That's false. Also, I should point out, we're not limited just to uniform collections of, or sets of numbers. I could put some letters in there. Let's put in a float, 23.3334, just like that. And if we look at S now, it contains all of these because they are unique. And also notice right away, actually, the order has changed. So it went to 1A, 4, 5B, 23.3334. And I actually don't know what is governing that, how this order is decided, because I assume if we look, every time we look at S, that order will be the same, even though it's not guaranteed to be the same. So again, don't count on the order. There is no order, and actually there's no way of, even if there was an order, there's no way of referencing items using an order. So all that's to say, it's totally unordered, gelatinous blob of data in there, unique data. So we could tell if an individual item is in a set using in, and we can access all the values in a set using a good old for loop. So it just looks like this, exactly what we've seen before, just like with a list, for whatever, variable name in a set, do something for each item. So we could do this here. We have S, so we could do a for thing in S, and we could just do print S, or, well, not S, print thing. There we go. And there we go. We get 1A, 4B, 45B, 23.3334. Okay, changing gears for just a moment, I want to show a common use case for sets. So imagine we have a list that has some duplicate data in it. So maybe this list called cities represents all of the cities where, let's say we're holding a conference on Python, and people register from all over the world, and I want to be able to say, hey, we have, people coming from 50 different cities or 10 different cities or whatever it is. So I have a list full of the cities generated from our sign up form. When people register, they specify their city, and I want to distill it down to uniques. So we have Los Angeles is a couple times. Same thing with what else? Tokyo is in here more than once, and Boulder is in here a couple times. So we just want to get a feel for exactly how many unique items there are in this list. So if we just convert it to a set by doing set of cities, and let's just start by printing that out. And if I go to my terminal and run this file, you can see what we get is a unique set. So Los Angeles, Florence, Boulder, Oslo, Tokyo, Santiago, Kyoto, San Francisco, Shanghai, and there are no duplicates anymore. But we're still working with a set, and we want a list. So then we can just turn it back into a list, just like this. And do I have, let's see, I think I'm missing a paren. There we go. And let's try running it. And this time we still have the same number of cities. The same cities are here, but we're able to, distill it down to a list full of unique cities only. Or if I just wanted to know how many unique cities there were, I could just do print len cities as a set like this. There we go. So we're just turning it into a set and then printing the length of that. And if we run that, there are 9 unique cities. So that's just a common use case for sets, is to take a list and just return a version or a set of that list containing uniques. And then we can convert that back to a list again if we want a list version. Okay, I'll leave the video at that for now. There are a couple of methods we'll talk about with sets in the next video. See you then.